that's like the same thing as top decking lethal when you have like 14 cards in your deck and 1 out.
Or top decking Harrison when you have 15 cards left and they have a Jiraxis like Zalae did.
Well, still lost that game.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, he went from a 0% chance to like a 60% chance to win the game.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what percent chance he has in this game because game number 3 is getting underway, and both of these guys looking to take advantage of this match. Kaldi's fighting for his playoff life, but Zalae is chasing down that number 1 spot. And Kaldi looking sharp in that picture.
Oh yeah, well-dressed man.
Every girl's crazy about him.
Uh-huh. Sure, and ooh, Kaldi. That is a Leroy Jenkins. Man after own heart. I love this deck.
I did want to point it out because I wanted to see you
react.
Yeah, I wanted you to be like, yeah!
Yes.
Cannon just loves this Paladin deck.
It's great.
Like, I didn't...
Look, you see, here's the thing. When I get home, you know, HPL, it wears me out. I give a lot of energy to this. But I still want to play Hearthstone because I love Hearthstone. And I can't play these 30-minute matches with these decks that take forever.
I can't be afforded to think anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I got to play these decks where you just get them.
You just get them. After all your Magic play of playing blue-black and white-blue all the time, you know what? Just start beating them up. Zalae is actually going to be the one playing the control in this matchup, and we haven't seen him play a ton of handlock, but you know there's something to be said about this. He did secure a WCA spot playing handlock. He was actually against Amaz in the finals of that one. He's been playing it to pretty good success here in HPL, albeit pretty scarce. But in his match against Purple, it was twice that he won a game with it.
Yeah, we're seeing some interesting cards in Kaldi's build here. He has the Hammer of Wrath and the Argent Protector. This one's becoming a little bit more popular recently.
I think it's a lot of it because this deck oftentimes needs to fight for board positions, and when you're playing the more all-in style of that, you don't have that liberty. So this, I think, is a big nod to the kind of player Zalae is. Knows that he's not just going to be free to run him over, that Zalae's going to be on point.
Exactly. This one's much better against decks like Hunter and Grim Patron, because it can fight for the board, Hammer of Wrath, and clear out some minions, because half the time they just put stuff into play against you, like Frothing Berserker, because you can't get rid of it without, you know, giving up a huge board position. This one fights for that board a lot better and can play longer games than the super all-in version.
Yep, so Zalae does have his work cut out for him in this game, though.
Card you need to look out for here, do you know which one that one is? Out of the Paladin deck?
I think it's Argent Protector?
Nope, that's not it. Try again.
Blessing of Kings?
One more time.
Argent Squire.
Yep, that's it. No, Divine Favor.
Divine Favor is massive
Yes.
in this matchup. You know, the Handlock deck, it's named Handlock. Its whole goal is to put a lot of cards in his hand and take advantage of that fact. Divine Favor can draw 6, 7, 8 cards sometimes.
Yeah, Kaldi passing up on 6 damage here to take care of this Ancient Watcher, playing real defensive, but it is hard for, you know, Zalae to take care of a 6/6 here. But he does pick up an Owl.
That's an okay draw. I think he's totally fine with that one. Was there a better one in the deck?
I'm trying to think here. I don't think so. Yeah, that's got to be one of the better ones.
I mean, you pull 4 power off the board, you pull 4 health off the board, and you get a 2/1 minion.
Yeah, it starts to challenge other minions, yeah.
Well, now
Big Game Hunter, that's going to be a great one.
Now he's on the Big Game Hunter, Abusive Sergeant would have been a little bit better. But I think he's going to settle for the Iron Begal here and look to Hellfire this board away later.
Yeah, Kaldi gets to use his weapon to, you know, take control of the board here, because with this deck, Kaldi's Origins a little better at it, but it's not often you see actual, you know, minions getting involved in combat here. They're just going to be going to the face almost the entire time. You're looking to push as much damage as possible, and I'm going to be counting up the rest of this game and just taking 6 from Zalae's life total, because he'd be at 10 right now, and this Leroy might be able to push through lethal the next turn.
Doesn't need to get that much more damage in to secure this, though.
Yeah, he's got Zalae at 16, but here's the thing. Once you start getting to turn 5 and 6, it starts to get a little rough if you don't have an Iron Beak Owl. You have to invest a lot into Sludge Belcher.
You know what's funny is if he goes for Emperor this turn, he's actually just dead.
Yeah, I think Zalae knows he probably can't go for Emperor, by the way. He might think this is his only shot and just take the chance, but...
God, what a tough spot. This deck comes out swinging so fast.
Yeah, I mean, you do have Mortal Coil plus Hellfire this turn if you want to just get rid of everything but the Argent Squire left over, and then you can kind of try to mop up from there.
And then the other thing is, once you see Argent Commander, what else are you thinking is in this build? Like, you're not necessarily accounting for everything at this point, because this is, like, where did he fit that card in?
Yeah, you know, you gotta, you know, wonder, does he have stuff like Leroy Jenkins? You know, how much reach does he have? Because that's the thing with this deck, is how much reach do they have?
Yeah, fully agree with this too.
Love this play here.
Push the damage. Get this in before he has a chance to taunt up.
Yeah, you get a guaranteed 6 in here, and it puts him down to 3 or 2 here with Hammer of Wrath. Doesn't even protect his Leroy.
I don't think he really needs to.
Yeah, I think he's got the math done against Healbot here.
And when Zalae sees this, what is he thinking now? Is he feeling like there's Consecration coming out of this next turn?
Well, that's another thing, too. Maybe there's a card like Consecration here. You know, Zalae, that has to be what's on his mind here, not Hammer of Wrath.
It's funny, he actually doesn't really have a way to play around this.
Not at all.
The fact that he's at 2, I mean, normally, I guess he could attack the Leroy Jenkins with both of his minions.
And then Siphon Zol.
We'll play Lotheb and then coin the Sunfree Protector.
Yeah, I guess if you play Lotheb and Sunfree Protector, it's actually a little bit better than just Siphon Soling, because you can just do that next turn as well.
That's actually his only way, I think, to stay alive this turn.
Yeah, I like your play a little bit better.
Accounting for all the ranges of things.
I like Lotheb here.
He's dead to Iron Beak Owl on that spot. So, I mean, again,
play around everything.
Players have to take risks at some point. His risk is going to be Iron Beak Owl. At this point, he's got to know that Consecration or Hammer of Wrath or something like that's very likely to be in Kaldi's hand. This is a great sequence from Zalae. Kaldi, he does have Zalae down to 2 right now, though, so he doesn't need that much more.
Yeah, can't actually play anything in his hand. You see Kaldi kind of laughing. I can't actually play a spell.
Yeah, I wonder if he's sweating now. I mean, if he sees Anti-Keelbot, suddenly this game is potentially swinging out of control.
Yeah, you got to believe that with the way that turn played out, Zalae has to know that he needs to gain life this turn.
Oh, God, Siphon Soling a 1-1?
Yeah,
Siphon Soling a 1-1?
Yeah, this is what this game has come to. this is what it has come to. He's going to spend 6 mana to kill this card that just came out of Kaldi's Hero Power.
Well, to gain 3 life, you know, come on.
Kind of important.
That's 150% of his life total right now.
You're so good at math.
Zalae's a little bit better at it. You can just tell it's uncomfortable for him. He's like, I really have to Siphon Soul this 1-1.
Is he the kind of player that he's so obsessed with like the right play and value that he's just going to be like, I refuse to Siphon Soul this 1-1. I will die with this Siphon Soul in my hand.
No, we've seen him all season long.
Yeah, of course.
Make the right plays to start to win games, outright win games. But Kaldi now, this is a chance for him to draw a ton of cards.
Yeah, I think you might have to just lead with Divine Favor here. You could just play the Abusive Sergeant, but you got to give, okay, so if you Divine Favor, you have 5 mana left. If you Abusive Sergeant, you're only left with 4. You know, there's a good chance he might, I don't think you, imagine if he has another copy of Hammer of Wrath in his deck, because he might just Hammer of Wrath the Lotheb here, but you got to know that there's a lot of taunts left. I guess you can start off with this and hope to God you
this is divine.
Some charge.
This has got to be Divine Favor. Yeah, it has to be. At this point, he knows the Hammer of Wrath, he wants to be a surprise. And so he's looking to, I think, appear a little bit more desperate than he actually is.
All right, so he does have Consecration in the deck.
And now 5 points of damage is available.
There's a lot of damage available, actually.
Yeah, Argent Squire even gets added here.
Yeah, that was a great Divine Favor for Kaldi. It's kind of hard for it to be bad when you're drawing 6 or 7 cards.
This has to be Anti-Keelbot. And it's not. I mean, now I think he's got a life tap.
Yeah, do you have to life tap just trying to find Anti-Keelbot here?
He doesn't even have, he can't even like push damage to face and then hope for a Ragnaros 6-1 shot.
Well, all right. Is Sludge Belcher going to be enough here?
No, he's got,
no
Kaldi's got 5 direct damage in hand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like with what's on board. Zalae, yeah.
Well, sure, but he just drew 6 cards. Like,
yeah.
The way that Zalae's played this game, I don't think that he's at all concerned with what's on board. He's thinking about the range.
It matters if Zalae thinks that he can play around that anymore and still win the game.
I mean, let's say he even did get Anti-Heal. He would go to 3, go back up to 11, punch through a 2-1, punch through a 1-1, and then you're looking at...
You're looking at 4 power still on the board, so it'll put you to 7, and Kaldi would only have to have 7.
It's a tough spot.
Yeah, this is almost impossible.
I think it's going to be Sunfury and Shadow Flame. Yep. So, Zalae takes what he believes is the best chance, that hope that Kaldi does not have the direct damage to finish him, but Hammer of Wrath and Consecrate in hand. He could even double Consecrate and use the Light's Justice. Multiple ways to do it at this point, but he's up 2-1 at this point. He is 1 away from ending Zalae's 6-match winning streak and putting himself on better footing for that playoff spot.
You know, I actually talked to him before the match today. He said he thought he had a pretty good chance to put it into that win streak here today.
Well, he's looking poised to do it so far. I think his queue-ups have been pretty darn good, you know. And the big story of this one, though, is that he stole a game with Freeze Mage versus Warrior.